Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. Today, we are going to be taking a look at all of the cryptos that are available on Robinhood and outside of obviously the stable coins. So, as we get into it, let's start off by looking at crypto fear and greed. And as you can see, we are at extreme greed, 82. And that makes sense because right now, Bitcoin, it is pushing further into all-time high region. Right around here, I'm sure it's like the lower 69,000 area. This is where all-time highs were before, all the way back from 2021 in November. And we wicked past it. I'm sure there was a lot of sell orders, people that were holding Bitcoin all the way since 21, people who were shorting. We tested it twice, 3 times, came back down. As you can see, this was a higher low, and we just keep pushing further on ahead. So Bitcoin, again, is an all-time high region. This, to me, is the strongest indication that we really are nearing the top of our cycles that we typically see. So as you can see, we top out in these cycles. Sometimes we get a big peak for a mid-cycle top. It's happened once, twice, kind of 3 times before, and we seem to be doing that again. So, this does look like we are getting up into this range right here as we've had before, but I do wonder, what if we only come up to to a certain level, come back down, and then go further higher up maybe a year down the road? That hasn't happened since around the first halving area, before and after it. So things are different. You never know. Each cycle's different. The one thing that leads me to believe that we are going to top out early is the Fed saying that they are waiting on doing rate cuts probably until the summer. And the reason why that is a bearish sentiment to me, at least, is when we take a look at when rates have been cut after being held higher for longer. This is a rate cut here after it was held for a while, and that was the COVID dump after it. So black swan event, maybe a more organic recession would have happened there. And anyways, but the big reason why is when we had the dot-com bubble and the great financial crisis, these red lines, those were the rate cuts. And as you can see, it took about 2 years to get to the absolute bottom. I think with all the market conditions that have been going on recently, especially with how inverted the yield curve is, that it makes sense to me that we would get a larger than typical recession. This was the yield curve inversion before the COVID crash. This was before the great financial crisis. This was the dot-com bubble. So that's why I would not be surprised if we saw something anywhere from 40 to 60% drawdowns on the S&P. And of course, that's going to affect the crypto markets quite a bit. And another reason why I think that's more likely to come true is just how much the markets have been ripping up lately. They're ripping up so strong that it just seems natural that it would have somewhat of a pretty sizable sell-off. So let's say maybe the markets get up to, you can take a look at the SPY here, maybe we get up near 5,500. And if we were to go 40% down, look, that puts us at the peak before COVID. 50% down, I think that would probably be at most what would happen personally. Anyways, you guys are here for cryptos available on Robinhood. I'm sure you want me to get to that. The reason this is all important, because that does all affect each other. So just something to keep an eye on. I think another reason for me saying this is I see people starting to comment if cryptos are going to stay at their levels, if they should buy and hold them. I do not recommend that, because we get these large moves up and then it sells off hard. Okay. And you will take a look at some of the alts. After we have the peak of the cycle, you do not want to be left holding on to those. I would highly recommend or suggest selling into profits and having a plan. Okay. So this is Bitcoin. Me personally, I'm not buying or holding Bitcoin, especially when it's at an all-time high. The time to buy a lot of these cryptos has been the last couple of years. And if you have not bought in during the last couple of years and you are coming in now, do know you are not coming in at a good time to invest into cryptos. You're coming in more to trade vest, or should I say gamble in an educated way. So I don't encourage that. To me, that's a more stressful way of investing. I've tried to buy as we've been down here near the prior all-time highs of 2017. I've been dollar cost averaging in on some cryptos, and so I've been enjoying good profits lately. But if you're buying in on alts now, do know you're taking a big risk. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum, as you can see, we have gotten over 4,000. That's a pretty big deal. And as far as price targets with Ethereum, especially with many of these larger cap altcoins, this one being the largest, take a look at the market cap. It is $500 billion. Knowing that, I think the most realistic guess or prediction of where Ethereum might go would be somewhere maybe between 1 to 1.5 trillion, in my personal opinion. So if we take this fib and take it off a log, I like when it's on log for when we're looking at prior all-time highs and we're measuring from the prior all-time highs till now. But when we take it off log, what do we notice? Did it actually go off log? I don't think it. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, this is why. You have to put it on log to begin with, dummy. Talking to myself here. I thought my computer was freezing for a second. Let's take it off log. Okay, what do we got? So when we scroll up and see some of those fib range extensions, we see the 1618 at almost double this. So that would put us at probably, I don't know, $900 billion. And then you see these higher ranges of 1100. And a lot of times the price will get very close to these 11,000, and 15,000. To me, those are the most realistic. I would be eyeing this 11,300 level probably as the top. That would be over a 2x, and it make it over $1 trillion asset. If we got up to this 15 number, that's like a 3 to a 4x, and that's saying that Ethereum is going to be worth somewhere between 1.5 and $2 trillion. Here's why I struggle with that. We have the top stocks in the world. NVIDIA, I'm sure you've heard a lot about it this bull run. You're talking about Ethereum being worth as much as NVIDIA, who's the best chip manufacturer in the world. Microsoft, that's worth $3 trillion market cap. Apple, $2.5 trillion. Amazon, 1.8. So you're telling me Ethereum is going to be worth as much, if not more, than Amazon? Hey, it's crypto. Anything's possible. But this is for comparison. Guys, you're going to see a lot of crazy predictions out there on YouTube, on Instagram. Please be careful and do not buy into all the BS. A lot of the people making these crazy predictions have no idea how market cap works. I see a lot of people out there who have zero clue what market cap is and try to set realistic expectations. So you're going to get higher multiples. If you heard my cat meowing, he says hi. You're going to get higher multiples with lower cap altcoins, should you pick the right ones. Those are altcoins that are going to do somewhere like a 5 to a 10x. Being generous, being modest here. Ethereum, probably not. Ethereum, you could maybe expect a 2 to a 4x in there. So those are some price targets for me. If we were to really go mega bullish and get above the prior all-time highs, looks like somewhere around 5,000. Okay, so 7,300 being the first. That 11,300 marker, I think, it would be the most realistic. If things got stupid bullish, then yeah, target that 15 next. Okay, but make sure you have a price target picked out, a certain level of profits picked out, and so that way you can set an order on whatever app you're using to withdraw should it get there, or you're ready to withdraw at those levels. Next, let's go over to Doge. And Doge, what do we see with Doge? So Doge, we are kind of fighting that 0.5 fib at around 19 cents. If we go to the last month, let's zoom in here. Yeah, we wicked above it and we're coming back up to it. So it does look like we're going to test and go above. The next level to look for Doge would be around 26 cents. And then 40. Actually, let's just zoom out here so we can see all those. 26, 41. And then after 41, the prior all-time high at around 74 cents. Here's another reason market cap's important. When Doge was up here, its market cap was pretty close to $100 billion. Also, there are many altcoins, and I've been through this with some altcoins the last cycle, okay, in here. I've been in crypto since here, guys. There are many altcoins that do not perform as well each consecutive cycle. Some altcoins just return back to the prior all-time high price. Some altcoins don't even get near their prior all-time highs. And of course, there's some that blow way past it. So it is a guessing game. And you see the videos where people are saying Doge to $2, Doge to $10. Okay, it's a bit ridiculous. If Doge goes to $2, you're talking about Doge being worth $300 billion at that point in time. Okay, and I do not expect whatsoever for Doge to stay valued at that price. If you look back at what's happened before, Doge went from around 3 cents up to 74, 75 cents, and then bled back down really quickly. And we've been in this 6 to 10 cent range for a while. Okay, so we increased profits by 25 times, somewhere around there, and then we decreased by about a magnitude of 8, kind of as the average. So should Doge get to $1, okay, and it runs up from the average here of, what would that be? $1 divided by, it does around a 14x, let's say, something like that. Then it would probably come back down to maybe around 20 cents as its next base. So just something to keep in mind. You do have to be ready to sell should we get into all-time highs, but there's no guarantee. Doge, it may be a 2021 coin, and maybe we only get back to 40 cents. Just something to keep in mind. As you take profits, maybe you can set a certain percentage of profits to take out here so you at least get back your initial investment. That way you're playing with house money, and should it go higher, sure, everything else past that is a bonus. Okay, let's move past Doge. Let's go to Link. So Link, let's put this on log scale and see what we got here. So Link testing that 618 at around $21. Okay, we're right there. If we go to the last month, oh yeah, we've been testing it, wicked above it. So Link to me looks very bullish. And if we go to the weekly, we have not had a buy signal since down here at around $15 on the weekly. I like to focus mostly on buy-sell signals on the weekly or monthly. That's how patient I like to be. Excuse me. So Link does look like it's going to push up a bit further. And should it? What are our next targets? $31 up there. And the prior all-time high before was 53. Now, there's been a lot of people talking about how Link can go way, way higher. You can see the 1.618 here at 230. Let's take this off log and see some of the other price predictions because it does show a bit more. Not on log, you can see 82, 130, 179, 208. I think up here this would be the best case scenario because, again, you have to consider market cap. And Link has a market cap of $13 billion, somewhere around there. So if it's to do a 10x right now and be worth $130 billion, which I do think is possible, then you would have around a $240 $14 link. Look at that. That's at the 4.236. So maybe you set some sell targets between 179 and 208. I think that would be the absolute very top. Maybe you sell, don't miss it. Set a sell target at 160. Try to catch it early, 170. But I see that being the maximum bullish case scenario. Next, let's go to AVAX. AVAX. So it is at around 49. And as we take a look here, we are above the 0.5, testing that 618. Okay. Have we wicked above the 618? Ooh, just today. Just literally just now. So this is looking very bullish for AVAX, like it's going to push through. And should it, then the next target you can look at is $79 and then formally $145. And should we get past those levels, some of the next targets you can look for are 229, 365. I think this says 502. Yes, 502 and 586. So let's take a look at AVAX and what its market cap is. Okay. It's number 11 crypto. We don't have to scroll too far. Market cap of $18.5 billion. Okay. So as we go back here and we see these 3 to 500 numbers, well, 500, the 3.618 at 502, if you can see that. I know it's hard, but it's that purple one right in there. It says 502.30 if you can't see that on your screen. That's the 3.618. That is pretty much a 10x from here. So that means you believe if it can get there that AVAX would be worth $145 billion. Maybe it'll get there, maybe not. Set realistic expectations, guys. And again, altcoins are not guaranteed to get above their prior all-time highs or to get there. So set your targets. And as far as buy-sell signals, well, at least on the weekly, we last had a buy signal at around 35. So we're not incredibly far away from that. If you've done your research, you believe in AVAX, I don't think it's the absolute worst time, but it's pretty much near the end. And I do think if you are buying any of these altcoins right now, you are gambling. You are doing educated gambling and chasing. I do not recommend it. But again, we've been in this range since December, mid-December, so maybe AVAX still is yet to run. Next, let's go over to Litecoin. So Litecoin, we've been talking about Litecoin since it's down here. I've drawn these trend lines and noted how we keep coming down here, and then eventually Litecoin just took off. We last got a buy signal around $69. I believe I did do a video on that at the time and said, hey, maybe this is time to get in Litecoin if you like it. So prior all-time high before, this is at around 414. Let's draw a fib. Try to get that as close as we can. Doesn't have to be perfect though. So look at that. We are just passing the 382, okay, which was at 98. So next target, 129, then 170, then 251. If we take it off log and take a look at further extensions, then we could look at next targets, 644, 1,000, 1,400, 1,600. Okay, and as far as where Litecoin is in market cap, we are at almost $8 billion. So if you believe Litecoin can do a 10x from here, and Litecoin currently has a price of 104, that means you believe Litecoin can get up to 1,000. The closest one to the 1,000 mark is this 2.618. So do I think Litecoin's going to get there? Me personally, I do not. It had sort of a lackluster performance last time around. I am wondering if at least the chart only starts so far here, if that was hitting any fibs. Not really. Okay, we'll get rid of that. But yeah, these could be some targets to look for possibly. Past the prior all-time high, 645 would be the next target. I do think Litecoin is a safe play. Again, you should have gone in when it was around 70. We're 30% higher, so I don't recommend getting in right now. Not to say it can't go higher, but again, I think you'd be chasing if you did that. Next, let's take a look at SHIB. And wow, SHIB has been flying up. So where is this thing right now? All right, you can see here that after we got to this high, let me zoom out again. Okay, let's actually redraw this fib. I want to draw from the prior high to low here. Excuse me. I am feeling better. It's just the more I talk, the more my throat starts to bug me. So I normally don't sound like Sam Elliott. All right. So here we've gotten almost wick to the 786, which is at 4883. So we have 4 zeros and then 4883. Right now we came down. We're closer to the 618. So we're settling on a base there. If we take a look at the monthly, let's auto that so it looks better. Okay, yeah, we wicked up high and we've formed a nice base here. We formed a nice base at the 618. So this thing is bullish. How much higher could it go? Well, that's anyone's guess. Would I recommend buying? No, we have not had a weekly buy signal since we had 50901. And so this thing has gone nuts. And I do not recommend buying this right now. I think you would be chasing. It's just not smart to buy into an asset. Not that you can't make money. Hell, it's crypto. But from the last area we had to move up, we've gone up 400%. Now we've settled in at around 300%. Not a smart time to be buying in. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. So if you have not been in crypto, you are gambling getting in now. As far as future targets, let's take a look. And if we scroll up, we can see some targets here at around, what do we got up here? The 1618 would be at 3 zeros and 1 4. The 2618, 3 zeros, 2 2. 3618, 3 zeros, and then 3 0. And then the 4236, 3 zeros, and then 3 6. Which would be at, those last two would be at about a 10x from here, should that happen. And SHIB, as far as what its market cap is, let's see, maybe SHIB was higher. Here we are. SHIB is a $20 billion market cap. So if you believe it could 10x, then you believe it'd be worth $200 billion at some point in time. Do I believe that? No, but it's crypto, so anything can happen. Again, I wouldn't be buying it now, guys, but I hope for any of you watching these videos that you already do own some of these assets and you can at least set an exit plan and make some money. Now, if it goes above there, cool, awesome, happy for you. But I personally wouldn't feel as confident about that. Okay, Uni, and let's get rid of this fib. So it's another one. It's been pumping since it's around 6. It's done a little bit over a 2x. And if we draw a macro fib, so it topped back in May. That was the first pump in Bitcoin. We go from the high to the low. And actually, let's take a look at the price targets first. If it were to break prior all-time highs, 1618 is at 71, 2618, 113. Purple, the 3618 is 154. The 4236 is 180. Okay, that's for Uni. So if we had a 10x and we're at 150, that put us near the 3.618. And does it pop up? Here we are. So that would mean this $9 billion asset, it's 8.7, would be worth around $90 billion. Should it do another 10x from here and be worth around 145? And again, 154, a little bit more than a 10x. That would be at the 3.618. So possible, sure, maybe, why not? If we just set the fib to log and take a look at where we're at currently, next places to be. All right, so right now we just look like we're settling above the 0.5. Okay, And we did wick up to the 618, came down. We're between the 0.5 618. So once we break through 16.6, the next level is 25.8. And then past that, trying to get through former all-time highs of 45. Again, we have not had a buy signal since we were at around $6. So I would not recommend buying now, but those are some possible price targets you can look for. Bitcoin Cash is our next one. And as far as Bitcoin Cash, let's draw our fibs from the high to the low. It recently did start running up very nicely. Got up to the 618, settling back down near the 0.5. Okay, so it does have to break through this 537 target at the 618, 880 at the 786. And Bitcoin Cash, I'm curious what the market cap is on Bitcoin Cash. Where are you? I probably scrolled past it and didn't even notice. Here we are. Bitcoin Cash, number 17 crypto, and again, around $9 billion. Could it be worth $90 billion? Sure, maybe. And so that would put it at 4,500. Does 4,500 fall near any of our macro fibs? Should it do a 10x? Actually, it does a little bit. So the 2618 is at 4,180. Maybe that could be a healthy target. It'd be about a 9x. Should we get there? Again, like I'm going to keep saying this. There's no guarantees we even break prior all-time highs. Do keep that in mind. I'm just setting some bullish targets, best case scenarios. Okay, we have 5,750 at the 3618. The 1618 would be at 2,600. So that's around a healthy 5-6x from here. I'd be looking for that one personally, but who knows? Maybe it could go higher. Next, let's take a look at Ethereum Classic. And Ethereum Classic, let's get rid of that fib. Now that Bitcoin has gone into all-time highs, that's why we're drawing very large targets, because we want to see what some price possibilities are should it get there. And we'll be curious if we do. So Ethereum Classic, it's at 38 right now. And it is the number 23 crypto, worth $5.5 billion. So if you believe it can do a 10x, then you believe it'd be worth around $55 billion. So it doesn't seem as crazy as we keep going down the numbers, but again, we'll see. And so going up by a factor of 10, that put us at around 380. The two fibs around there above are the 2618 at 450 and the 1618 at 280. All right, and if we set this to log, what do we see? So we have to zoom in a little bit here. Ethereum Classic. All right. So we have settled above this fib line here, which is the 382. We have settled above the 382, and that's good. Okay. It needs to stay up there because, as you can see, last time we got above 382, if we were to have a pullback, go back down, then you can just expect it to get back down to 13. Again, this is why we don't chase the pumps. The last weekly buy signal was here at 24. And the next target you're looking for is 47, 65, and 102. If it gets above 65, the 618, then game on. That would be looking very good for Ethereum Classic. That's the key number to watch, the 618. Stellar Lumens. So as we zoom way out here, let's draw our macro fibs. And what do we got? So we are above the 236. We have yet to get above the 382. And is this on log scale? Yes. Okay, good. Looks like it is. So we need to get to the 382 at around 17.5 cents, 0.5, 23, 618, 31. That's the key. We got to get above there. Okay. We did get above the 382 back in July last year. Came back down, settled around the 236. So let's see what Stellar Lumens can do. And should it have the ability to get to new all-time highs? Ooh, here it shows market cap, $4.5 billion. Should it be able to do a 10x and get to something like 1.5 cents, somewhere up there? Well, we have 1.23 at the 1618, and the 2618 is $1.96. Okay, which would be a little bit over a 10x, kind of like a 12x. So those would be targets to look for. The 3618 is 268. The 4236 is 313. So again, set your price targets and make sure you have a plan. If you have stellar lumens, where do you want a dollar cost average out? At the very least, I think taking a little percentage of profits, starting at the 618, wouldn't be the worst idea. To get back your return on investment, if you did get down here and then play with house money and progressively get out as we go further up. And then just kind of add to the exit strategy, which you could do. Maybe you believe that the 1618 is probably where we go, but you want to see if we get the 2618. You could take out another small percentage around here, and if it goes higher, set a sell order near that amount, see if you can get it. And if it goes above but doesn't quite get it and comes back down, well, then you can just sell when it's at or near the 1618. You can go about it that way too. We just have a couple more. XTZ, AAVE, and comp. Okay. So XTZ, we recently had a buy signal here at around $1. We are 50% higher. And if we draw a fib from the prior high, which was at the second, near the second top of Bitcoin. So when we had this double peak, this was November, this was like March, April. This one was topping in October. Okay. So as we draw a fib from the high to the low, some of the higher targets. Now this is a $1.5 billion market cap. So maybe it could get to $15 billion for a market cap. Some of our targets, if we were to do a 10x, well, look at that. We have the 1618 at 14.4. That's 10x from here. These smaller market caps, you can feel maybe a little bit more aggressive about it doing more than a 10x possibly, if you are to catch the lows. Maybe a 15, 20x, who knows. But we have the 4236 at 36.37. Okay. So that'd be somewhere between somewhere around a 30x in there. And if we are to change the fib on a log scale, take a look at our next targets. We can see that we got above the 236. We need to get above this 382. Otherwise, it can just easily come back down. And some altcoins do that, guys. I've seen altcoins in 2017 and in 2021. They never got above their 382. So do know that is a risk. Not every altcoin is guaranteed to run, all because you're seeing some of these ape up and going 5, 10x. So some of these will stay dead. Do know that. That's a risk. Do your research. 0.5, we have 237. And then if we double in price to the 618, that's at 326. And that's the price we really want to get to and get above. The 786, it says, is about $5.15 up there. And of course, back to 915 is the original all-time high. That's what we got for XTZ. Let's next go to AVE and comp, and I'll close out with some thoughts. So AVE, we last had a buy signal at around 90. It's at 140. Don't recommend buying right now. I'm probably one of the few people on YouTube saying don't buy. I'm not trying to. So guys, something to consider, just real quick. Smart money and dumb money. Dumb money, retail money is buying right now when Bitcoin's in the all-time high. I have not heard any friends, family talk about Bitcoin until very recently when it got into the all-time high region. That is a top signal. And I'm not saying Bitcoin can't double. I'm sure it could. But that is a top signal, or at least a signal to be extremely cautious, because retail loves to buy the tops. They don't love to buy down here. They love to buy when things are way up. So do be very cautious. That is why greed, going back to the crypto fear and greed, that's why greed is as high as it's ever been since we last got into new all-time highs and then topped, or the mid-cycle top before. Okay, That's why greed is so high. That is not the area you want to begin by buying it. I digress. So we're trying to work above the 382 here. We are above the 382. It needs a hold above that. So maybe this thing's flipping bullish. And the next target, the 0.5, is at 175. 618, that's where we want to get. And that is at 240. 786, 377. And then should we go into new all-time highs and go crazy? We have the 1618 at 1054, 2618, 1677, 3618, 2300, and the 4236 at 2685. So you can set some price targets in there. Should you have some AVE that you bought down here and you believe it can make new all-time highs. Last one, comp. And I hope everyone's week started out well, that your Mondays weren't too bad. And I hope you guys were able to get in early on some of these. Make some good money. So high to low, comp it's at 92.53. What is comps? What is its market cap? So compound, 128. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Its market cap is, oh boy. Here we go. Circulating supply, fully diluted market cap, just a little under $1 billion. It's at 900 million. Okay, so much smaller cap. So a 10x would make it worth $9 billion. A 100x would make it worth $90 billion. Do I believe it'll get a 100x? No, but maybe this could be a 10, 20x. It hasn't had a buy signal since 54, and right now we are at 90. Okay, so again, don't reach. And some of the super high targets, you can take a look. We have 3,800 at the 4236. Where would 3,800 be here? That says 3,790. I'm curious. 3,790 divided by 92.3. That's a 41x. Should we get up there? And so again, going back to the market cap, if we multiply 41 times 924 million, that means this would be worth $38 billion. Do you believe compound can be worth $38 billion? Well, if you do, then you believe this could go 40x from here. Now, will it? I don't know. But smaller market caps, some of them will do it. Many of them won't. So keep that in mind. I'm going to keep telling you guys to be cautious because I don't want you to lose money again. Being a smart investor is being patient. You want to remove emotion out of it, and you want to have a plan and stick to it and only execute your plan when the market or your assets meet the conditions of your plan. Do not chase because you're getting excited, okay? Removing emotion from investing is one of the first things you need to do. So going to the 1 month, are we above that 382? Well, we wicked above, went underneath. So we still have to get and hold this $95 range. We're just underneath it. Maybe we're going to get above. 0.5 is 145, 618. The area we need to get to is at 225.5. So let's get above 95 first, then talk. After 95, the 228 is the next area to look for. Guys, last thing I'm going to say, because I've heard people talking about buying and holding, which, hey, for some cryptos that might work, like Link, Ethereum, Doge, Bitcoin. When you get them at the lows, the fearful times when things are oversold, that's the time to get those. If you want to hold through consecutive cycles. If you're buying now, you're going to be holding through more than one cycle just to get a return on your investment. So I don't recommend that. But as you can see, Bitcoin and crypto overall, it goes up hard and it comes down hard. And so that's why crypto, you are more likely, or it would behoove you, it would benefit you to take your profits as we get up into these ranges. And if you want to check out this rainbow chart, blockchaincenter.net, not sponsored, don't work with them. I get nothing out of it. But guys, when we're going up 10, 20x inside of a few months, please, for the love of God, take your profits. Okay? We can take a look at one of the strongest stocks in the world, Amazon. Here's a nice, healthy climb. Where's this date right here? January of 15. Where was it in January of 16? How much higher? I want to go to the very top. It was 123% up. Cool. It wasn't 1,000% up like some of the cryptos are. Okay. Where was it from January 16 to January of 17? 30% up. That's more normal. We'll do one more. January 17 to January of 18. I'm trying to prove a point here to you guys. 50, 70%, somewhere in there. Here's my point. Guys, when we have cryptos going absolutely apeshit bonkers inside of a month, if that, or just a couple weeks, and let's measure this out. When we have cryptos going up 565%, that is not normal, and that will not last. It will go up, and then it'll come down. And that's why we are setting these targets. You guys, look at this. This went from November to April. Okay, so half a year. It might not even be that much. We may only have 2, 3, 4 months, which is what I suspect. Because going back to rate cuts at the beginning, if we have rate cuts June or July, maybe we only have till then. Maybe rate cuts tend to signal pretty darn near the peak. So maybe we only have a few months. It comes down. Look, this is an asset district. It got up to 50. That was April. By July, it went down to 13. It went way lower, about 4 times less, lost 75% of its value. So try to catch your profits on the way up. Set your targets, stick to them. Don't get emotional and don't get delusional like the guy who holds all that Doge and never, ever, ever sell. Okay? Take some profits. You're able to be this lucky and get in early enough to buy at these dips. Take some profits. At least get your investment back. Play with house money. Set your targets just like I showed you guys how to. And see what you can do. And maybe you do have some greedy targets. Sure, shoot for those. But I wouldn't wait with your whole portfolio till they get there. That's me, not financial advice. Do with your money what you will. What I will say, though, is I know a lot of people, they held on too long. I held on to a couple of my cryptos too long, and I did not get the 20 to 40x profits up here that I could have down here. Then it turned into a 5x profit. Okay. I know people who took profits up here, but then they bought back in and the altcoin never went back up. We can go back to this last one. The altcoin never went back up, even though Bitcoin did a double top. The altcoin didn't. And they've been holding onto those bags for the last 3 years. And there's other altcoins that never get back to their all-time highs from the prior cycle before. So do keep that in mind. If your crypto, if your shitcoin goes up 10, 20, 40, 50x, take the profits. I've been through this twice, guys. I want to see some of y'all make money. Okay? If you're wondering, well, hey, if I buy shitcoin Inu, is it going to stay at a 50x valuation after it gets there? No, it's not going to. I can almost guarantee it. I'm not going to guarantee it because nothing here is financial advice. But if Jasmy, for example, does a 10x or something crazy from here and gets to, well, hell, let's say Jasmy gets to $1. Let's say it does a 50x. It is not going to stay there. I am 99.99% sure within every fiber of my being that should Jasmy get there or above, it is not going to stay there. Now, I'm seeing predictions calling for $5 Jasmy, all this other ridiculous stuff. Guys, all those crazy predictions, please take those with a grain of salt. A lot of YouTubers out there, they don't understand market cap, and they just throw out ridiculous numbers. And I'm starting to see so many retail people believe in this stuff and fall for it. Please do not fall for that. Understand what market cap is and try to have a realistic perspective. Remove your emotions, the positives, the negatives, and you shouldn't be chasing the hype and the pumps. Time in the market's more important than timing the market. But set realistic expectations. YouTube XRP Ripple to 10,000. That's how stupid people are. Ripple I mean, I'm going to keep saying this just to prove a point. Ripple is worth $40 billion at this current price. People are saying it's going to be worth 10,000. Man, a 72-cent crypto going to be worth 10,000? Guys, it's not realistic. If you calculate 10,000 divided by 71 cents, let's say 72, that would make its market cap worth 500 trillion. This is how stupid it is. The global GDP, every country in the world, was around 100 trillion. You're telling me Ripple's going to be worth 5 times the entire earth? That's not happening unless aliens invade and bring with them a ton of stupid money, and the aliens are mega rich and buy all the Ripple in the world. Okay, it's just not going to happen. You have to come up with some pretty fanatical type of dumb stuff. And I'm sorry for swearing, guys. I'm getting hyped up here for viewers. I want you guys to be safe. I want you to be careful. I want you to be realistic. And here, one of the goals, market psychology, is to help people when your emotions are becoming bipolar in a sense, or too hysterical. Okay, you need to keep your emotions in check. You need to keep a realistic mindset. Make sure you're going for a walk, exercising, making good decisions, and not buying after cryptos have already pumped 20, 30, 50%, 200%. Okay, there's many assets out there, cryptos, stocks. You don't have to gamble. You don't have to lose your hard-earned money. Anyways, that's all I got for today on the altcoins and the state of the crypto market. For what's available on Robinhood, please be careful, guys. And if you have any cryptos you'd like for me to take a look at that are available on Coinbase, I think I'm going to bookend the week. I'll do Robinhood videos at the start of the week, and because many are the same, I'll do Coinbase videos at the end of the week. And maybe on Wednesdays, that'll be the Bitcoin miner stock day, where I'll take a look at those. And then we'll do stocks at the end of the week or the start of the week. Mag 7 and NE with earnings. I think that's going to be my format going forward. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something from this. I hope you're all making smart investment decisions. Take care. Bye-bye.